Right, hello there and welcome back my fellow pixel loaders. As you know, in the last Minecraft pixel tutorial build on Jiriya, we have completed pretty much most of the shading, and today we're going to be doing the final part where we're going to be completing the rest of the headband, finishing that off, and we're also going to be doing all the hair. So there shouldn't be too much shading, but you never know these things. So for the blocks we're going to be using for today, we are going to be using our red terracotta, our brown terracotta, our light grey concrete powder, our grey wool, our grey concrete, our white wool, our light grey wool, and our black concrete. So without further ado, once we've grabbed all these blocks, for the first area that we're going to be working on today is we're going to be working on the headband, and we just want to work on the underneath headband part first before we move on to the actual headband itself. And for the area we're going to be going off of that, we're going to be flying over to the left hand side of that underneath section there on the above the eye. And for those blocks we're going to be using the brown terracotta and red terracotta. We're going to be using our brown terracotta first, and once you're over this left section over here by the eye, as you can see, we're going to go on to the bottom line, so not the top line, the bottom line that goes down into the face, and we want to be flying to the very left, where we've got this 5 in total that's going along to the right or left, whichever way, that's up right here, as you can see, and we want to fly all the way to the right side of that 5, so fly all the way over to the right. Once you've flown all the way over to the right of this 5, we're going to place one brown terracotta down to the right, just like so, and then we're going to do an up left diagonal, and then we're going to do an up right diagonal, and there we go. Once you've done that, all we're going to do is take out our red terracotta, and on the right hand side we're just going to place a bit of red terracotta just on the outside to mark out the area, and there we go, simple as that. We're not quite done yet though, so we need to go and do it on exactly the same thing but on the right hand side. So before we move on to the right hand side, as you can see, brown terracotta on the left and red terracotta going down to the right, and then moving over to the right hand side over here. For the area we're going to be going off here, we're going to be going once again from the bottom line we're starting from, and we're going to be starting from this 3 that's sticking out to the left side over here. So not this 3 on its own on the right, this 3 on the left right here where it's got like a bunch underneath it as well, as you can see, and we're going to be flying to the very right of that 3, so fly to the very right of it. And this time with our brown terracotta, we're going to place 1 on top at the very end of the right 3, just like so. Once we've done this, we want to do 2 upright diagonals, so 1 and 2. On the second upright diagonal, we want to do an up left diagonal, so it connects just in that corner, just like so. And there we go. We're done with this area, so all we got to do is take out our red terracotta, and on the left hand side, just place over, and then there you go. So now we're completely done with this area. So once again, the same right here, brown terracotta on the right hand side, and red terracotta going all the way down to the left, connecting to that side just like so. So there is the first section done, and now we're going to move on to the headband. So once we move over to the headband, I think for the first areas that we'll start with these small little sections to the left right here, so these little symbols right here. And for these sections, we're going to use our grey wool and our grey concrete. So fly to the very bottom one first, and once we fly to the very bottom one, so this one first here, we're going to fly all the way to the top corner, so to this 2 upright diagonals here, and in these 2 upright diagonals, we're going to fly to the very top one first. Once we fly into this one right here, we're going to do 3 bottom left diagonals with our grey concrete from here. So 1, 2, and 3, just like so. On this third bottom left diagonal, we're going to place 1 underneath, then 1 to the left, and then 1 underneath. Once we've done this, we can take out our grey wool. We're going to place 1 underneath, and then going to place 1 to the left, and then we're going to place 1 on top, just like so, and then we're going to place 1 to the left, and then we're going to place 1 underneath, and then once you've done this, take out your grey concrete and place 1 to the left, and then 1 on top, and there we go, we're doing that little sector there. So once you've done that, moving over to the next one, so this middle one right here, once again, we're going to fly to the very top right corner, and then this top right corner right here with our grey concrete, we're just going to place 1 down in that right corner. We're then going to place 1 to the left. We're then going to place 1 underneath, just like so. And then we're going to place 1 to the left. And then we're going to place 1 underneath. And then we're going to do a bottom left diagonal. Once you've done this, take out your grey wool and just fill the rest inside here with grey wool, just like so. And there we go, we should be looking like that. Once you have done that, we're going to move over to the next sector, so this sector right here. Once again, we're going to be flying to the right, but this time it's not really the top right corner, it's still kind of more the bottom right corner. So flying over to here, once again with our grey concrete, we're going to place 1 in this corner, just like so, and take out our grey wool, place one to the left, and take out our grey concrete and place one to the left. And then once you've done this, take out our grey wool and fill the rest in with grey wool. And there we go, we're done with that sector right there. So continuing on with the grey wool, we'll be flying over to the two little corners right here and here. And for the first area, we're going to be going to the left hand side as we are on the left hand side. And we want to fly to that one bottom right diagonal, or you could say upright diagonal, that's sticking out to the right here on its own. So fly all the way over to here. Once you've flown over to here, taking out our grey wool, we're going to place one to the right from here, and then we're going to place one underneath. From this one that we just placed underneath, we're going to place two to the right, so 1 and 2, and then we're going to place two going up, so 1 and 2, and place one to the right, and fly to the left by one, so back to this left corner here, and place one on top. Then we're going to place two to the left, so 1 and 2, and then we're going to do two up left diagonals, so 1 and 2, and there we go. Once we've done this, inside here, we're going to fill the rest inside with grey wool inside this small little sector inside. So we're going to fill this in, just like so. And there we go, we should be looking like that right there. So the reason why I fill this in is, well, one, because it's short, and two, because, well, we can't really mark this out, because once again, for those that usually do my builds, as you know with light grey concrete powder, which this is what's going to be in here, you can't really place light grey concrete powder underneath, and I'll just show you the reason why, which it is meant to go underneath there, as you can see, but it falls to the ground, and that's why we can't really do that, but we can put some on top if you want. But the grey wool is done here, so you don't really need to place grey wool, so it doesn't really matter too much, but there you go, you can make it look like that. Once we had done that though, we are going to fly to the right hand side, and taking out our grey wool again. Once again, we're going to start from that one that's this bottom left diagonal, or left diagonal again, as you could say. This one's taken to the left right here on its own. And flying over to here again, we're going to place one grey wool going to the left from here. We're then going to place one underneath, and then we're going to do a bottom left diagonal, just like so. From this bottom left diagonal, we're going to do 3 up left diagonals, so 1, 2, and 3. From this third up left diagonal, do an upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, place one to the right, and do another upright diagonal, and place another one to the right, and then do another upright diagonal, and place another one to the right, just like so. And then there we go. All of the rest inside here is going to be filled inside with grey wool. So once again, fill this in with grey wool, just like so, and there we go. Once it's in this, once again with our light grey concrete powder, we can just place a couple on top. But we are also done with the grey wool once again as well. And then there we go. So, zooming out for the next area in the headband. So I think to explain the most simplest area first, so we've only got 2 more areas to do. And inside this symbol for Jiriya, inside those squares, we're just going to fill those squares in with our light grey concrete powder. So let's fill these in first. So just these 4 squares, as you can see. And there we go, we should be looking like that right there. And we're just going to do exactly the same for all the others. And we might as well just fill it all in now, because why not? Nice and short area it is. And also I don't want to make anything too confusing. And then there we go. So once you've filled in all of those 4 squares, just like so, so you should be looking like that with our light grey concrete powder inside those 4 squares. As I said in one of the other previous parts, all the rest inside this section right here is going to be filled in with our black concrete. Once again, though, I do recommend with light grey concrete powder, you should fill on the outsides, like on the edge, so you don't spill over. Obviously, though, we can't really do it with light grey concrete powder because it falls to the ground, so you can't really get the sides unless you want to go all the way up to the sides. But you can place a bit on top for the top areas. But what I would recommend is filling in the light grey concrete powder first, and then do the black concrete after, because then you've got like the most annoying part done first. Then it's a lot easier to do the rest of the parts, because it just makes things a lot simpler. And also, as I said, it gets very annoying with light grey concrete powder for multiple reasons, because it always falls to the ground when I place it. Because if you misplace it, it does do that, especially when you place it in front. But again, I do recommend filling in the light grey concrete powder first, just to make things a lot easier, because the black concrete you might spill over. So it's a better choice doing the light grey concrete powder first on the outside. So once that has been said, onto the final area for the headband. So for the final area, we're going to be using our white wool for this final area. And for that area, we're going to start at the top of the build. So let's fly over to the left side though. So we're going to be going like through kind of those symbols. So starting on the left hand side, kind of through these symbols right here in this area. For the first area, we're going to be starting off this big line right here. So not the very top big line, the second big line that's going up from the top right here. And we kind of want to be on the left hand side, as I said, kind of over these symbols here. We're only going over these symbols. And let's just fly to the very left of it. Once you have flown to the very left of it, we want to place one white wool underneath from here. And then we want to place two to the right. So 1 and 2. And from the second one to the right, we want to place 3 underneath. So 1, 2 and 3. And then I'm going to zoom out from here. So as you can see, we should be looking like this right here. So we're going to go off this area here from that 3 that we placed underneath. So once you have places 3 underneath, fly back over to here. Once we've flown back over to here, to the bottom left diagonal from here. From this bottom left diagonal, place 3 underneath. So 1, 2 and 3. Then do another bottom left diagonal from here. From this bottom left diagonal, we're going to place 2 underneath. So 1 and 2. As you can see, we hit the black concrete just like so. Once we have done this, we are going to zoom out. So from this little symbol here, we want to fly to the bottom of this 3 right here. So this bottom 3 line. And we want to fly to the very right of it. So to this one right here. And once you've flown to the very right here, we want to do a bottom right diagonal from here. Just like so. And from the bottom right diagonal, we want to place 1 underneath. And then there we go. Once you've done that, once again, flying down to the next bottom of this symbol right here, we're going to be flying to the bottom of this 2. And we want to fly to the very right of the 2. Once we've flown to the very right, we're going to place 4 underneath from this one. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. There we go, we should be looking like that. Once we have done that, we want to do a bottom left diagonal. From this bottom left diagonal, place 2 underneath. So 1 and 2. And then once you've done this, we want to fly down next to this symbol. And on this symbol, we want to be going off in line with the white wool that we just placed right here, this 3. So to this third one on the black concrete, going to the right here. And we want to place 3 white wool underneath here. So 1, 2 and 3. Once you've done this, we want to fly back up by 1, so back up to this middle one here. And we want to place 1 to the left and then 1 on top. As you can see, also that third one that we placed underneath connects in the bottom left diagonal direction to this first 3 that's going down in a bottom right diagonal direction, just like so. And then continuing back on from this 2 that we just placed going up here, kind of in total, we want to fly up to the top of the symbol this time. And for the area we're going to be going off on top of the symbol, we want to be flying to the left, but we don't want to be in the very left corner. We want to be on the second one away from the left corner. So this one right here in line with the grey concrete, as you can see on the top of the black concrete right here. And we want to place 5 white wool going up from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We then want to do an up left diagonal from here. And from this up left diagonal, we want to place 4 on top. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. We don't want to do another up left diagonal, just like so. And then from this up left diagonal, we want to place 14 on top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Once you've placed 14 going up from here, we want to do an upright diagonal. And from this upright diagonal, we're done with this area. So white wool is going to go all inside here. Once again, I would place light grey concrete powder on the outside, but we can't really do it because of the way light grey concrete powder works. So once again, I do recommend filling in light grey concrete powder before you fill anything else in, because if you do the white wool first, once again, you might spill over. The same with the black concrete. So it's a lot less confusing if you do the light grey concrete powder first, because it makes things a lot easier. And I'll just touch up a few areas, because why not? Just kind of just show you an example. And there you go, that's pretty much it, because there's not much I can really do with the light grey concrete powder. So once we have done this, that is all the headband done. So as I said, light grey concrete powder is pretty much just going to be all the rest in the outside in here. So once we have done that, moving over to the next sector. So we're going to be moving on to the hair now. So we're just going to zoom out, so we can get a zoom out of the hair. And there we go. So for the blocks of the hair we're going to be using white wool and our light grey wool. So for the first side of the hair, we're going to start with the left side of the hair, and we don't have too much shading. So we don't have like shading up here, but we do have a lot of shading down here. So we're going to be starting with the left hand side first. And for the first area we're going to be going off, this area that is going into the face and into the neck area, as you can see. So this line right here, and we're going to be using our light grey wool, and we want to fly to the very bottom. So let's fly all the way down into the bottom, into this neck piece here that goes into the black wool. And with our light grey wool, we're just going to fill up in this gap right here, all the way up to the top until we hit the black concrete. And then you place it up left diagonal from here, so into this gap. And once again, we're just going to go all the way up with our light grey wool until we hit the black concrete. And then once you've done this, take out your white wool and just place one to the left if you can. You can place a couple up as well. And then there you go. So that section's done right there. Quite simple, that area. And then moving on to the left from this section right here. As you can see, this section of hair right here that going down, we're going to start off this section next. But to make things as easy as possible, so we know where to start off, we're going to be flying over to the next section. So this section right here to the left. So there's not really too much section really shaded in here. It's just on this big line right here, as you can see. And we want to be flying to this big line, but we want to be flying to this first big line that's going all the way up. So to the top of this black concrete right here, we're just going to go with our light grey wool up a bit from here. So flying over to the top of this black concrete line. And once you have flown over to here, we're going to place 18 light grey wool going up from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. Once you've placed 18 going up from here, we're going to do an upright diagonal, just like so. And from this upright diagonal, we're going to place 2 on top. So 1 and 2. We're then going to place 1 to the right, then fly to the left by 1, so back to this left corner right here, and place another 3 on top. So 1, 2, and 3. Once we've done this, we're going to fly to that 1 sticking up to the right, so over to here. And once we've flown over to here, we're going to place 2 going underneath. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to do a bottom right diagonal. And then from this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 3 underneath. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do another bottom right diagonal from here. And then from this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 4 underneath. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're then going to do another bottom right diagonal from here. And from this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 2 underneath. So 1 and 2. We're then going to do another bottom right diagonal. And from this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 2 underneath. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to do another bottom right diagonal, just like so. And from this bottom right diagonal, we're going to do an upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, we're going to place 3 on top. So 1, 2, and 3. And then there we go, we're done with this area. So light grey wool is going to go all underneath inside here. And we're just going to take out our white wool. And on top, we're just going to mark it out with our white wool. So let's just mark this out. So it's quite nice that light grey wool actually works for the shading here, because usually it's always light grey concrete powder, but I'd rather use that for the headband because it looks a lot more shaded because of that kind of a pixely effect that it has. And that's why light grey wool and the white wool works a lot nicer for the hair. And there we go, that is the first section done, or second section done actually, including that, well, tiny section that we did. But moving over to the next piece that we're going to be shading, we're going to be flying over to the left into this next sector, literally right next to it. And for the area we're going to be going off, nice and easy this area, we're just going to be flying all the way down to the bottom left corner inside the hair, that goes inside into the shoulder right here. So flying all the way down to this bottom left corner. With our light grey wool, we're going to place 2 going up from here. So 1 and 2. From the second one that we just placed on top, we're going to do an upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, we're going to place 2 on top. So 1 and 2. We're then going to do another upright diagonal. And from this upright diagonal, we're going to place 3 on top this time. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to do another upright diagonal from here, just like so. And from this upright diagonal, we're going to place 2 on top. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal. And then from this upright diagonal, we're going to place 3 on top. So 1, 2, and 3. We're then going to do another upright diagonal from here. And from this upright diagonal, we're going to place 2 on top. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal. Place another 1 on top. And then do another upright diagonal. And we're going to place another 2 on top. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, place 1 on top. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal from here. And from this upright diagonal, we're going to place another 2 on top. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal from here. From this upright diagonal, we're going to place another 1 on top. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal. And from this upright diagonal, we're going to place another 2 on top. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal from here. And from this upright diagonal, we're going to place another 2 on top. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal from here. And then from this upright diagonal, this time we're going to go underneath. And we're going to go underneath by 18 from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And there you go. As you can see, the light grey wool, if you go to the top of the black concrete, it is 4 going underneath with the light grey wool. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there we go. And as you can see, it's also in line with the red terracotta, just like so. So once we have done this, as you can see, the light grey wool is going to go inside this gap right here, just like so. And taking out our white wool on all the outside, we're just going to mark it out. So once again, starting with the bottom left corner, just going to mark this area out. And there we go. So, moving on to one of the next 2 sectors. I think we've got 2 more sectors to do on the left side here. Actually, technically 3 sectors. So, for the next sector we're going to be moving to, we're going to be moving still into the inside of the hair. So, kind of more is still inside the first section of the hair. And we're going to be flying to this gap right here. And we're going to be flying all the way to the left corner inside this gap at the bottom right here. So, fly all the way over to here. And once we've flown over to here, taking our light grey wool, we're going to place 3 going up from here. So 1, 2, and 3. We're then going to place 1 to the right, and then we're going to place another 3 going up. So 1, 2, and 3. We're then going to place 1 to the right, and then we're going to do an upright diagonal from here. From this upright diagonal, we're going to place 1 on top, just like so. And then from here, we're going to do another upright diagonal. And from this upright diagonal, we're going to place 2 on top. So 1 and 2. We're then going to do another upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, we're going to place 1 on top. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal. And from this upright diagonal, we're going to place another 1 on top. We're then going to do another upright diagonal from here. And from this upright diagonal, we're going to place 1 on top. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal. And from this upright diagonal, we're going to place 2 on top. So 1 and 2. We're then going to do 2 upright diagonals from here. So 1 and 2. From the second upright diagonal, place 1 on top. And then do another upright diagonal. And from this upright diagonal, place another 1 on top. And then do another upright diagonal and place another 1 on top. And then from here, we're going to place 1 to the right. We're then going to place 2 on top. So 1 and 2. And then fly all the way underneath. So back to this bottom right corner here. So the one that we placed to the right. And we're going to place 5 going underneath from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to do a bottom left diagonal from here. Just like so. And then from this bottom left diagonal, we're going to place 4 underneath. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And as you can see, this 4 that we placed underneath has connected on top of this upright diagonal right here, the black concrete. And as you can see, light grey wool is just going to go all inside here, down at the bottom. And then taking out our white wool, just on top, we're going to mark out the area. So let's mark out this area right here. And why not just get that gap? Right, so on to the next sector. This sector is actually really easy because it's literally pretty much just upright diagonals. So for the area we're going to be going off here, we're going to be going and doing this strip right here, so as you can see right here, and we're going to be flying to this upper singular right diagonal right here. So fly all the way over to this up singular right diagonal, and once we fly over to here, taking out our light grey wool, we're just going to place 1 underneath from here, and then we're going to place 1 to the right, and then once you've done this, we're literally just going to do upright diagonals from here until we connect all the way up to this 3 right here, as you can see. So as you can see, there's 3 3s right here, and we should be connecting to the middle one at this gap right here. So if I just place one here just to show you an example, that's where we're going to be connecting to right there. So to the right of the middle of that 3 and on top of the first 3. So we just go back to this 2 and just do a bunch of upright diagonals from here. Just like so. So basically there's no point in really saying a number for this area, as it is literally just upright diagonals. So it shouldn't be too complicated really. There's no really point giving an exact number for it. And there we go. So as you can see, that last upright diagonal we just did, right there has went to the right of this 3, which means if you look at upright diagonal direction, it connects to this one that's on top right here. That's kind of what I did that as well, because as you can see, we can still do upright diagonals. And once you have connected, just like so, we have done that area. So, light grey wall is going to go all underneath and down in these sections right here. And on top, just taking out our white wall, we're just going to go over. And as you know, the white wall should connect into the middle of the 3. Well, the white wall doesn't really matter too much where it goes, but it kind of just shows you an example. Just like so, because that's also going in an upright diagonal direction. So once you have done that, moving on to the final sector of shading in on this side, the left hand side, we're going to be moving over up a layer of a strip. So we're skipping this strip here and we're going on to this strip right here. So where you can see these 2 singular bottom left diagonals going down inside, we're going to fly over to the very bottom one right here with our light grey wall. From this very singular bottom left diagonal right here, we're going to do 3 upright diagonals. So 1, 2 and 3. From this third upright diagonal, we're going to place 2 on top. So 1 and 2. We're then going to do another upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, we're going to place 1 on top. And then we're going to place 1 to the right. Once we've done this, we're going to do 2 upright diagonals from here. So 1 and 2. From the second upright diagonal, place 1 on top. Just like so. Then once we've done this, we want to do 9 upright diagonals from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And there we go. On this 9-foot right diagonal, we're going to place 1 to the right from here, just like so. And then we're going to do 6 upright diagonals from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And there we go. On the 6-foot right diagonal, we're going to place 1 underneath. Then we're going to do a bottom left diagonal. And on this bottom left diagonal, we're going to place 1 underneath, just like so. Then we're going to do another bottom left diagonal from here. And from this bottom left diagonal, we're going to place 1 underneath. Once we've placed this 1 underneath here, we want to do 2 bottom left diagonals from here. So 1 and 2. From the second bottom left diagonal, we're going to place 2 underneath, so 1 and 2. And then we're going to do another 2 bottom left diagonals, so 1 and 2. From the second bottom left diagonal, place 1 underneath, and then do another bottom left diagonal. And from this bottom left diagonal, place 1 underneath, and there you go. As you can see, that 1 that we just placed underneath has connected to the right of this 2 black concrete on the corner right here. And that's everything done on the left side. So once again, light grey wall is just going to go all inside this gap. And then taking out our white wall, we're just going to mark on the outside, just so we don't spill over again, and we know the areas that we're going off. And this is the last section for this left hand side. We're then going to be flying over to the right hand side after this. Once we just mark all of this out here. And then there we go, so there's the left side done right there. So now we're going to move on to the right hand side. So again, as you can see, light grey wall, down there, in there, in there, in there, and in there. And once we have done all that, now we actually are going to move onto the right side. So moving over to the right hand side. So for the right hand side, once again, we're going to be starting off in the very bottom right side, like kind of down here. And we'll be going into the bottom left corner. That's going into the neck once again. So in this time we're going to be flying to the very bottom left corner. So down in this one gap underneath right here. And well here, let me just go and destroy this. Which I'm probably going to do a lot more of these, and I'm assuming a lot more people are going to do that as well. With the light grey concrete powder, always falls to the ground every time. Very annoying. But anyway, continuing back on from this gap with our light grey wall. And with our light grey wall, we're literally just going to go all the way up to the top from here until we hit the black concrete. So just go all the way up And there we go. Once we've done this, we're going to do an upright diagonal from here. And then from this upright diagonal, we're going to do another upright diagonal, just like so. Once we've done this, from this upright diagonal this time, we're going to place 4 on top. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're then going to do another upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, we're going to place 6 on top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're then going to do another upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, place 3 on top. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, we're going to place 4 on top. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal, just like so. And from this upright diagonal, we're going to place 3 on top. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal, just like so. From this upright diagonal, we're going to place 4 on top. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, we're just going to place 2 underneath for now. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to do a bottom right diagonal from here. And then once we've done this, we just want to fly back up to this one sticking up right here. And once we've flown back up to here, we want to place 4 on top. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then once we've done this, fly back to that bottom right diagonal. So back to here. Once we have flown back to this bottom right diagonal, we're literally just going to go all the way down from here. So just place all the way down until we hit the black concrete again. Just like so. And there we go. And as you can see, we hit the black concrete just like so. So once you have done that right there, we're going to move on to the next sector. Before we move on to the next sector, once again with our white wool, we're just going to fill on the outside. And again, as you can see, the light grey wool is going inside here. So with our white wool just on the outside, marking it all out. And there we go. So, moving on to the next sector right here. For this sector right here, we're going to be going into this sector right here. Again, to make things nice and easy, we're going to be going off this 5 that's going up right here. And we're going to be going to the left of it, so this line that's going up right here. So similar to where we did one of those areas over there, we're going to be starting on the left side. And flying over to this left side right here. So to the bottom of this 5. With our light grey wool, we're going to place 27 going up from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. Once you've placed 27 going up from here, we're going to place 1 to the right, then fly to the left by 1, and then place 2 going up from here. So 1 and 2. Then fly back to that one sticking up to the right, so back to here. And we're going to place 4 going underneath from here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're then going to do a bottom right diagonal from here, just like so. And then from this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 7 underneath. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're then going to do another bottom right diagonal from here. And from this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 6 underneath. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to do another bottom right diagonal. From this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 3 underneath. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do another bottom right diagonal. And from this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 2 underneath. So 1 and 2. And as you can see, that second one that we placed underneath connects in the bottom right diagonal direction to this black concrete right here. And once you have done this, once again, taking our white wool just on the outside, we're going to fill all over. So you see a light grey wool is going to go all inside here, all the way down into there. So just put our light grey wool, just going to mark on top. And there we go. So there's our sector done right there. So moving on to the next final sector inside this side of the hair. So then after this, we got one more final sector, which is in that side. But into this sector right here, we're going to be flying all the way to the top of this up left diagonal right here, as you can see. So fly all the way up to here, this singular up left diagonal. And once again with our light grey wool, we're going to place 1 on top of this single up left diagonal, just like so. And then we're going to do another up left diagonal from here. And then from this up left diagonal, we're going to place 5 going underneath from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're then going to do a bottom right diagonal from here, just like so. And from this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 5 underneath from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're then going to do another bottom right diagonal from here, just like so. And from this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place another 5 underneath. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to do another bottom right diagonal from here. And this time from this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 4 underneath. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to do another bottom right diagonal from here, just like so. And then from this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 6 underneath from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And there we go, we're just going to zoom out from here. And then we're done with this area right here. So once we have done this, light grey wool, just going to go all inside this right sector right here. And then taking out our white wool, we're just going to mark out on the left hand side. And then there we go, we finish right there. So, should be looking like that right there. And then onto the final sector of shading in our light grey wool. So for the final sector, for the area we're going to be going off here. And to make things as easy as possible for this sector right here, we're going to be flying to the right hand side. And we want to be flying over to this area right here. And so we want to be flying down, not from the top though, we want to fly to the, pretty much to the top though. But we want to fly down to this 3. Right here. So as you can see, these 2 3s are going in up left diagonal direction, going up towards this corner right here. We want to be flying to the very first of the 3. Well, you could say fly to the very second of the 3 as well. But we're going to be basically flying to the underneath of the first one and to the right of the second one, just like so. And then basically taking out our light grey wool from here, we're just going to place basically 2 going to the left from here. So 1 and 2. And then there we go. As you can see, we should be looking like that right there. Once you have done that, fly back to those 2 that you placed to the left. Once you're flying back to these 2 that we placed to the left, we're going to do an up left diagonal. When it's up left diagonal, we're going to place 1 on top. We're then going to do another up left diagonal from here. And from this up left diagonal, we're going to place another 1 on top. We're then going to do another up left diagonal. And from this up left diagonal, we're going to place 2 on top. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to do another up left diagonal. From this up left diagonal, we're going to place 1 on top this time, just like so. And then from this one that we just placed on top, we're going to place 1 going to the left from here, just like so. And then we're going to place 2 going up from here, so 1 and 2. And then we're going to place 1 to the left, and then 1 on top. And there we go. Once we've done this, we want to fly back to that one that we placed to the left, right here, from this first 2. So to this left corner, right here. Once we fly over to this left corner, right here, we're going to place 8 going underneath from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And once you place 8 going underneath from here, we're going to do a bottom right diagonal from here, just like so. From this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 11 going underneath. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. We're then going to do another bottom right diagonal from here. And from this bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 6 underneath. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to do a bottom left diagonal from here. And then from this bottom left diagonal, we're going to do 2 up left diagonals. So 1 and 2. From the second up left diagonal, place 1 on top, just like so. Once you've done that, do an up left diagonal. From this up left diagonal, place 2 on top, so 1 and 2. And then we're going to do another up left diagonal from here, just like so. And from this up left diagonal, we're going to place 1 on top, just like so. And then we're going to repeat this to here 7 more times in a up left diagonal direction. So do an up left diagonal, place 1 on top, that's 1. Another up left diagonal, another 1 on top, that's 2. Another up left diagonal, another 1 on top, that's 3. Another up left diagonal, another 1 on top, that's 4. Another up left diagonal, another 1 on top, that's 5. Another up left diagonal, another 1 on top, and that's 6. And then finally but not least, another up left diagonal, another 1 on top, and that's 7. And there we go. As you can see, that 2 connects to the right of this top line right here, just like so. Once we had done this though, for the final sector, we want to do an up left diagonal, and then place 2 on top. So 1 and 2. And then there we go. We are done with this area right here, just like so. So now all we got to do is take out our white wool, and just on top, we're just going to fill out on top, because the light grey wool is going to go all down into this sector, and all down into these sectors, and down here. So with our white wool, let's just shade on top. And then once we have done this, we are finished and completed our Jiriya build. Well, once again, not exactly finished, but we have finished outlining everything. No more explaining to do. Just nice fun filling in for just a couple of hours or so. And we are almost finished. And there we go. So there's everything outlined, and let me just fill this right corner, just to make things as less confusing as possible. And there we go. So that's pretty much everything now for the shading. Well, not pretty much everything, it is everything. And now all we got to do is fill everything in. So once again, before I end this video, and I've got to show you basically an end result first and all that sort of stuff. So before we get into basically showing you the full shaded in version, let me just explain all the areas one more time. So light grey walls going underneath in here, underneath in that section right there, underneath in that little section, and underneath in that little section. That bit's already done, as you can see. And then white walls going to be all in the rest outside, going all the way up to the top, which, yes, it is a lot of white wall to fill in. And light grey wall inside there, inside that little section there, inside that small section, and then all the way down to here, and then to that section right there, and then again white wall is going all kind of down into there, down into there, down to there, up in there, and just all the way up again, meeting that section there as well. So with that being explained, onto the headband. Brown terracotta on the right and on the left inside those sectors, red terracotta all in the middle. And then light grey concrete powder is going to be all on the outside, and obviously the white wall is going to be inside that small sector first. Again, as I said before, I recommend filling in the light grey concrete powder before you fill in any of the black concrete or the white wall, because it makes things a lot easier, I would say. And then with that note being said, that's pretty much everything there. As I said, black concrete is inside there, and the white wall is inside there. And again, just a quick reminder one more time, light grey concrete powder all on the outside, and I would recommend filling that in first. And with all those notes being said, now we've got to cut into the shaded in part. So without further ado, I'm just going to fly into, I guess, this sector right here. And now we're going to pause the video and we're going to fill it all in. So without further ado, if you want to pause the video right now and fill it in for yourself, and basically see the end result for yourself and see what your version looks like, and don't see my version until you obviously click play and then it goes through to my version. Or if you want to have a reference to make sure you don't go wrong, so if you want to basically see my version and then copy it from there and just make sure that your version is looking like mine to make sure everything is correctly, then you can pause the video right now. And there we go. As you can see, we have filled in everything in the headband. So all the brown terracotta has been filled on the right and left hand side, and the red terracotta has been filled in all in that area right there. All the black concrete has been filled in inside those areas that was meant to be filled in, and the same with all the light grey concrete powder. As you can see, it's been filled in all on the outside where it's meant to be filled in, and so is the white wall. So once again, if you haven't done this area yet, then pause the video and go and complete this area. And if you already have done this area, then moving on to the next area. So we're just going to move on to the left hand side of all the shaded areas first. So I'll give you like a small zoom in if you want to see a small zoom in as well. But here's the full thing in zoom for the left side right there. So if you haven't done any of those areas yet on the left and right hand side, then you can go and pause the video and go and fill in those areas. If you already have filled them in, then I'll go into full zoom out. But just for those that haven't filled in the area as well, if you want a bit of a closer look, I'll just give you a bit of a closer look in these areas. So you can basically just pause the video at any time on these close-up areas, as you can see. So there's a close-up of that one there. And I'm giving you a close-up here as well. And then this one right here as well. And then move it over to the right-hand side now. And again, just another little close-up. If I can fly any faster, that would be great. There you go. There's the one. There's the other. And the other small section right here. And the final section right there. As you can see, that's everything. And pretty much that is everything there. So you can see from the full zoom out, just if anyone wants to close, you can pause the video at any time there. So that is finally Jiriya complete. And let's have a nice little zoom out of this and have a look at this beauty. And there we go, the man, the legend himself, Jiriya, has been completed. And as you can see, he's looking absolutely legendary, just like the anime he was, and also a fantastic character. With that note being said, that is the end of today's build. And if you did enjoy this build, feel free to go and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because that'd be much appreciated and helps out the channel a lot. And again, thank you for the support lately. And for the next build, for those that are wondering what the next build is, as we had done quite a lot of Naruto themed builds the last, what, I don't know, 3 builds. Next build, we are going to be doing a One Piece build, and as I said before, we are going to be doing Zoro, as Zoro has been by far the most requested on the channel. Like, we've had about like 6 suggestions for Zoro. So again, without further ado, we're going to get into that build in the next tutorial. And then after that, we got the 100 sub special, which I've had for a while, and then I've got some new other specials coming up for a bit of idea suggestions, and a new one that is going to be really cool, by the way. And without further ado, with that note being said, I'll see you in the next tutorial. So peace out, enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.